friends, in this lecture we will discuss about short names of elements. Okay, we will discuss some short names of elements. Okay, uh, let us see those elements. Okay, so in previous lecture we have studied about oxygen element and how the oxygen is obtained in the nature, that we have discussed. Okay, and we use short forms at many places. Okay, likewise, to represent the elements we use short forms. Okay, so as we know that there are 118 elements are available now, and out of these elements 92 elements are naturally occurring. Okay, तर त्यापैकी जे 92 एलिमेंट्स आहेत ते कसं असतात, ते निसर्गामध्येच मिळतात. ठीक आहे, जे निसर्गामध्येच अवेलेबल असतात. आणि तुम्हा सर्वांना माहित आहे, वी ऑल्सो नो दॅट एलिमेंट्स आर either in metals, in metal form, or in non-metal form, or in metalloids form. Okay, so metalloids are also called as semi metals. Okay, semi म्हणजे काय, अर्धे metals आणि अर्धे नॉन मेटल्स, त्यांना आपण काय म्हणतो, मेटेलॉइड्स. मेटेलॉइड्स म्हणजे सेमी मेटल्स. ओके, अर्धे मेटल्स. तर मेटल्स म्हणजे धातू. आपण पाहतो की आपल्या घरामध्ये बऱ्याचशा वस्तू आपण धातूच्या वापरतो, मेटल्सच्या वापरतो. त्याच्यामध्ये युटेन्सिल्स वगैरे असतील किंवा अदर बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी असतात. ठीक आहे, त्यानंतर सम एलिमेंट्स आर नॉन मेटल्स. ओके, त्यातले काही एलिमेंट कसे असतात, नॉन मेटल्स. नॉन मेटल्स मध्ये आपण पाहतो की जनरली जे हे जे गॅसेस असतात, नायट्रोजन, ऑक्सिजन, हे काय आहेत, नॉन मेटल्स आहेत. ठीक आहे, त्यानंतर थर्ड म्हणजे मेटलॉइड्स, त्याच्यामध्ये सिलिकॉन, आर्सेनिक, जर्मेनियम, हे जे सेमी कंडक्टर मटेरियल असतं. ओके, ते काय असतं, सेमी मेटल्स. ओके, तर अशा पद्धतीने एलिमेंट्स असतात. ते मेटल्स असू शकतात किंवा नॉन मेटल्स किंवा मेटेलॉइड्स. ओके, तर आता या ठिकाणी आपल्याला पाहायचं की वी हॅव टू डिस्कस some elements and their symbols. Okay, so let us see elements, elements and their symbols. Elements and their symbols. Okay, so first is hydrogen. Hydrogen element, let us see. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is represented by the symbol H, capital H. Okay, H means hydrogen. After that, next is helium. Helium, as we know that if the initial of two elements initial letters are same, then we use pair of letters. Okay, for helium, H small e means helium. Okay, helium is represented like that. Okay, then lithium. Lithium, how the lithium is represented? Lithium is represented by L small I, capital L small I, lithium. Okay, then beryllium. 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 Beryllium is represented by B E, capital B small e, beryllium. After that, boron. Boron. Boron is represented by the symbol capital B, boron. Okay, then carbon. Carbon is represented by the symbol C. Carbon means C. Okay, carbon C. Then nitrogen, nitrogen, nitrogen is represented by the symbol N. Nitrogen. Oxygen, oxygen by the symbol O. Fluorine, fluorine by the symbol F. Fluorine by the symbol F. Neon, neon is represented by the symbol Ne because nitrogen and neon. Okay, these are having same initial letters. That's why nitrogen is denoted by letter N, and this neon is denoted by letters Ne. Okay, that is neon. Sodium, sodium is represented by the symbol capital N, small a, Na. Magnesium, magnesium is represented, magnesium is represented by the symbol capital M, G, magnesium. Okay, then aluminium is represented by the symbol aluminium, aluminium by the symbol capital A, small l, Al, aluminium. Okay, then silicon, silicon by the symbol capital S, small I, silicon. Then next element is phosphorus by the symbol P. Phosphorus by the symbol P. Okay. Then sulfur by the symbol S. Sulfur by the symbol S. Then chlorine. Chlorine by the symbol Cl. Argon. Argon by the symbol capital A R. Then potassium. Potassium. Potassium by the symbol K. And calcium. Calcium by the symbol Ca. Okay. So these are some elements. Okay, these are the combined. Okay, that is metals, non-metals, and metallites. Okay, uh, and their short forms. Okay, remember all these short forms because these elements and their short forms we use up to 10th class. Okay, and after that also, but up to 10th we have to use these short names. Okay, in chemistry. Okay, and that's why we should remember all these short forms of the elements. Okay, remember that hydrogen, that is H. Helium is denoted by H, E, small e, H capital. Okay, capital H, small e, He. Lithium is uh, represented by Li, lithium. Beryllium, Be. Okay, boron, B. Carbon, C. Then nitrogen is N. Oxygen is represented by O. Fluorine, F. Fluorine. Neon, Ne. Sodium, Na. Sodium, Na. Magnesium, Mg. Okay. Aluminium, Al. Silicon, Si. Phosphorus, P. sulfur S, chlorine Cl, argon Ar, potassium K, calcium Ca. So these are what different symbols of the elements. Okay, remember all these things. Write down these elements and their symbols or short forms. Okay, then we will discuss other things. Okay, write down. Now let us see in elements. Okay, there are two questions. Okay, can you tell the answer of these questions? Let us see those questions. Okay, now let us see. Can you tell which metals do we use in day-to-day life? Okay, let us see question. Can you tell which metals do we use in day-to-day life? Which which metals which metals do we use do we use in day-to-day life? Do we use in day-to-day life? Do we use in day-to-day life? Okay. So answer of this question is we use many metals in our day-to-day life like ornaments जे दागिने असतात ते कशापासून बनलेले असतात मेड फ्रॉम गोल्ड सिल्वर ओके the short form of gold is AU okay and the short form of silver is AG how their short forms are came from that we will discuss okay so the answer of this question in day to day life in day to day life in day to day life we use we use many metals we use many metals okay आपण खूप सारे metals वापरतो like we use metals we use metals for आपण कशा कशासाठी मेटल्सचा वापर करतो for ornaments for ornaments for utensils जे घरामधले जे किचन मधले युटेन्सिल्स असतात भांडे ओके त्यांच्यासाठी त्यानंतर फॉर टेबल चेअर विंडो फॉर टेबल फॉर चेअर विंडो chair, windows, okay, for doors, for construction, steel bars, okay, for construction work, for construction work or in construction work, okay, and many other applications, and in many other applications, many other applications, okay, understand. तर आपण जे धातू असतात, जे मेटल्स असतात, त्यांचा वापर आपण बऱ्याच ठिकाणी करतो. ठीक आहे, जसं आपण त्यांचा वापर घरामध्ये डोअर असतील, विंडोज असतील, ओके, इन कन्स्ट्रक्शन वर्क, स्टील बार्स असतील, तर अशा बऱ्याचशा ठिकाणी आपण डे टू डे लाईफमध्ये मेटल्सचा वापर करतो. ठीक आहे, राईट डाऊन दीज थिंग्स, राईट डाऊन दिस आन्सर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. ओके, then second question is, are metals elements? Okay, second question is, are metals are metals elements? तर हे जे मेटल्स असतात ते एलिमेंट्स असतात का? यस. ओके, all these different metals are elements, because as we know that elements are classified into three types, that is metals, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, so these metals are elements. These different metals, these different metals are the elements, are the elements. तर हे डिफरंट जे मेटल्स असतात ते काय असतात? एलिमेंट्स असतात. ओके, रिमेंबर दीज थिंग्स. ओके, answers, remember these answers. Okay, elements, metals are the elements. Okay, write down, then we will discuss other things. Okay, now let us see. Elements are generally classified into two groups, that is metals and non-metals. Now let us see. Elements are generally classified into two groups. Elements elements are generally generally classified classified into two grou- classified classified into two groups, that is metals, that is metals and non-metals. that is metals म्हणजे धातू and non metals म्हणजे अधातू. ठीक आहे. metals and non metals. We have studied the properties of metals such as we have studied the properties of metals. We have we have studied studied the properties of metals. We have studied the properties of metals metals such as such as malleability, malleability, ductility. Malleability means ability of metals to rolled into thin sheets. Okay, by hammering on it. Okay, such as malleability. तर या मॅलेबिलिटी प्रॉपर्टीनुसार आपण एखाद्या मेटलला शीटमध्ये कन्वर्ट करू शकतो इन द फॉर्म ऑफ थिन शीट. ओके. देन डक्टिलिटी म्हणजे काय, तर वी कॅन form any metal into thin wires by applying tension on it. Okay, that is ductility. Then conductivity of heat and electricity. Conductivity of heat and electricity. Heat and electricity. As we know that in metals there are number of free electrons. Okay, मेटल्स मध्ये नंबर ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स असतात आणि त्यामुळे काय होतं, मेटल्स मधून हीट आणि इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इझिली कंडक्ट होऊ शकते. ठीक आहे. बट इन केस ऑफ नॉन मेटल्स देर आर नो फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. दॅट्स वाय इन केस ऑफ नॉन मेटल्स द कंडक्शन ऑफ हीट अँड इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इज नॉट good. Okay, these are not good conductors of heat and electricity. That is bad conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, non metals. Then density of metals is high. Density, luster means sakaki. Okay, luster to metals there is a luster. Sonority. Okay, metals produce a ringing sound. Okay, that are the metals are sonorous. Okay, because they produce ringing sound. So these are the different properties of metals that we have studied. Okay, now the elements that do not show these properties, the elements the elements the elements which do not show these properties show these properties these properties are called as non metals are called as non metals आणि त्यांना आपण काय म्हणतो, नॉन मेटल्स किंवा अधातू म्हणतो. ठीक आहे, नॉन मेटल्स. फॉर एक्झाम्पल फॉस्फरस, सल्फर, क्लोरीन. फॉर एक्झाम्पल फॉस्फरस, क्लोरीन, sulfur, oxygen, all these are non-metals, etc. Okay, non-metals. Write down these things. So here now we understand that what is meant by uh, metals and non-metals. Okay, about metals and non-metals. Okay, metals and non-metals. Now let us see. Now let us see the elements that show some properties of metals. The elements that that show some properties, some properties, the elements that show some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals, some properties of metals and some properties of non-metals and some properties, some properties of non-metals, some properties of non-metals. Okay, some properties of non-metals are called as metalloids, are called as are called as metalloids. तर त्यांना आपण काय म्हणतो मेटेलॉइड्स और सेमी मेटल्स और सेमी मेटल्स मेटेलॉइड्स और सेमी मेटल्स ओके. तर बघा जे काही एलिमेंट असतात ज्यांच्यामध्ये काही प्रॉपर्टीज मेटलचे असतात आणि काही प्रॉपर्टीज नॉन मेटलचे असतात त्यांना आपण काय म्हणतो मेटेलॉइड्स किंवा सेमी मेटल्स. दिस इज द थर्ड ग्रुप ऑफ एलिमेंट्स. आणि हा काय as we as I have told that okay, this is the this is the third group third group of elements. This is the third group of elements आणि हा काय तिसरा ग्रुप असतो एलिमेंटचा. ठीक आहे. आर्सेनिक सिलिकॉन सेलेनियम आर्सेनिक आर्सेनिक सिलिकॉन सेलेनियम arsenic silicon selenium are the examples of metalloids are the examples of the elements, that is are the examples of elements metalloids. Okay, are the examples of metalloids. Okay, remember these things. So here we have discussed about metalloids. Okay, so this is the third group of the elements. Okay. Remember this. Write down these things. So friends, in this lecture we have discussed about short forms of elements, how the different elements are represented by their symbols, okay, that are short forms, okay. And then we have discussed about metals, non-metals and metalloids, okay. So in next lecture we will discuss about a second part of the topic, that is compound, okay. So in this topic we have to study up we have to study about, okay, elements, compounds and mixtures, okay. So we are in the elements now, okay. Then in next lecture we will discuss about compounds and then mixtures, okay. So now we stop here. Hope you understand all these things in very well manner, okay. Keep studying. Thank you.